Welcome back to the Headspace and Tasting podcast, where we try to talk anyway, manhood, tell stories, and discuss the stuff that matters to us, one sip at a time. Hello, Kevin.
What's up, Matt?
How's it going?
Going all right?
Yeah.
A little breezy today.
Good fall weather out there.
Yeah, real close to winter.
All the wind knocking the... I heard we might get a wintry mix this weekend.
Yeah. Depending on the forecast you pay attention to, between now and next Tuesday, we may end up with as much as 6 inches of snow.
Dang. That'd be cool.
So,
I'm ready. It's going to be a long winter, man.
I have a feeling.
Well, at least all this wind's knocking them, waiting for all the leaves to finish falling to get my yard cleaned up. I got one tree, it's just now turning brown, just hanging on to all the leaves. So definitely going to be doing multiple raking, and need to do it before the snow hits, that's for sure. Today's our Thanksgiving show. We are coming, or just had Thanksgiving. Well, we're pre-recording. We're going to tell everybody. We're pre-recording because we got vacation for me coming up, and I got to bury my dad. My dad passed away a couple days ago.
Yep. Sorry to hear that.
Thank you, bud. And, you know, all the arrangements and all that sort of stuff kind of threw a wrench in my travel plans, but that's okay. That's what I'm here for, to be with family and all that sort of stuff. And so we're going to pre-record this. We're going to talk about Thanksgiving, which is actually tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
This will come out the Monday after Thanksgiving, so we hope everybody had a great one and enjoyed time with your family and enjoyed some good food and gave thanks to God for all He's given us.
Yeah. Let's remember why we celebrate it.
Exactly.
And not that we're trying to decolonize the holiday, which is what the universities are now trying to do.
Decolonize it?
Decolonize Thanksgiving.
It was the colonist holiday. Like, Thanksgiving came about because of the colonists.
Yeah, you know, people just know. I mean, it's
Trying to erase history.
as much as they can.
Yeah.
But Thanksgiving was actually celebrated by, well, when we think of the Pilgrims, we're thinking of Plymouth Plantation.
Mm-hmm.
And when in 1620.
Yeah.
And they actually used to celebrate Thanksgiving already when they were in the Netherlands, which is where they all came from. They came from England, but they emigrated to the Netherlands and were there for about 12 years before they came to America.
And these would be the Quakers? Or
The Puritans?
Puritans, yeah.
Yeah. And so there was actually Thanksgiving celebrations there every year, and it was to celebrate victory over the Muslims, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So the term Thanksgiving was not a new term. And then you flash forward to 1620, and Puritan Pilgrims, they come to Plymouth Plantation, which, by the way, was 500 miles off course because they were supposed to go to Virginia.
Right.
And rough weather all the way over, behind schedule, and off course, and they end up in Massachusetts. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. And, you know, half the people, passengers on that ship in the first year died.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, so it come down to when they were getting some help from some of the Indians locally, and, you know, they tried to incorporate that into the story much, but it really wasn't. It was really about their survival and how they were able to persevere.
Yeah.
Because the climate did clear up some, and they were able to plant, and they actually had a good harvest. And they wanted to celebrate by having Thanksgiving, and they did. And that Thanksgiving celebration, I think, lasted 3 days.
Oh, cool.
And, you know, while they were celebrating, the Indians showed up, an Indian tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think there were 90 of them. Seems like an extremely high number, but I want to say that was right, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And they all celebrated Thanksgiving together. And it's well documented. The Indians even went out and hunted a few extra deer and brought them in to carry on the celebration. Everybody had a great time.
Neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we have turkey instead of venison. I don't know where the turkey started, but it definitely wasn't at the first Thanksgiving. Because I don't think turkeys were even in the New World yet, were they?
Oh, yeah, they were.
Did they bring them over?
Yeah. Ben Franklin wanted to make the turkey the national bird.
Right.
And they went with the bald eagle, and he actually protested against the bald eagle.
Yeah. Yeah, he wanted something that was brought from the old world into the new. And the turkey...
turkey was here.
I don't think
so. The turkey was here. It was wild.
Okay. Somebody fact check us. But anyway, it's a great bird. It's an awesome bird. It's beautiful, tough. Not the smartest thing in the world, but it fights for its territory, its women, all that. It's a pretty cool bird. I'd be okay with turkey being the national bird.
Yeah, they had venison, clams, oysters.
Gross.
Fish, and all their other stuff that they had.
I think they had pumpkin pie.
No. So pumpkin was not too long after that because it was used for survival. I mean, they ate it.
Yeah.
But it got to the point where people got tired of the pumpkin. And it ended up becoming like a poor man's food for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like pork steaks.
Yeah.
Now everybody wants them. They're expensive, which is crazy. For all of our listeners who are not in the St. Louis region, pork steak is a Boston butt cut into steaks, and you grill it, slather it with barbecue sauce, and it's awesome. It's really good. But yeah, if you want to try it, just get a Boston butt. Tell them to cut it into half-inch steaks for you. It has to be thin. A thick pork steak, I'm not sure about that, but
yeah,
I like the thin ones, and they get crispy. Really good stuff. But that was poor man's food here in the St. Louis. And now it's everywhere.
Same with was the one where they always had the cross crinkle cut looking thing in the
on the meat.
Yeah.
A chuck eye?
Yeah.
No, that's a relatively new.
Can't remember.
Well, I know like hamburger steak is a pretty tough piece of meat that has to be tenderized.
That really or bologna or Braunschweiger. Ate a lot of that growing up.
Had a lot of Braunschweiger as a kid. We used to eat it on white bread with ketchup. That was good.
I always had mustard.
Mustard? Okay.
Yeah.
I still like it today. I don't know. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Don't forget who you're thanking, for everything that's provided for us. And thank you, Kevin, for bringing this bourbon today. Again, coming through with a bourbon. What'd you bring?
This is a straight bourbon whiskey coming out of Kentucky from the James E. Pepper Distillery. It says here it was established in 1880, but they had the roots going back to 1776. And the company itself actually shut down in 1967. And they had two facilities, and one reopened later, which is now Woodford Reserve. And then another group bought out the other facility and rebuilt it and carried on the family name, James Pepper, for this particular distillery. And this release first came out in 2023. That's not how old this bottle is. I just bought it yesterday.
Okay.
And it is barrel proof, uncut, unfiltered. It is 108.6 proof. And yeah.
Nifty bottle.
That's what I know. Yeah, it's in a decanter style bottle, which is real fancy. It's got a big old wooden topper on it.
Yeah, it's cool. So nice dark color, amber color almost, or I guess amber would be in the bottle. When you pour it out, it's a little bit lighter, caramel color.
It was aged anywhere from 3 to 5 years, depending on where you look on their website.
Okay.
Anywhere from 3 to 5.5 years.
Yeah.
There is no definitive
Just whenever it
time.
tastes right, they pull it out. Huh?
Maybe. And it's made up of 4 grains. No one really knows the mash bill for it either. However, the 4 grains are corn, rye, malted barley, and malted rye. And the only thing that's different, other than most bourbons that are aged in their charred oak barrels,
Mm-hmm.
which come out of what state?
Wonderful Missouri.
Exactly. These are actually toasted in charred barrels made from Kentucky oak.
Oh, okay.
That's the only thing on here that stands out that's a little bit different. And then they get their water from the historic distillery well that's still in operation.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I would imagine all those old distilleries are on top of a pretty good water source, and then they own the water rights with a pretty good distance around it.
Yep, that's what Bill Samuels told us during his tour of Maker's Mark, that it had nothing to do with what you made, it had everything to do with the water.
Yeah.
And water wars and fighting for the rights for water is still the biggest deal when it comes to making your own bourbon.
Okay. What'd you get on the nose on this? What'd you smell?
Apricot.
Apricot. Okay.
Yeah. Straight up. It was rich in its aroma. It wasn't cutting at all.
No.
Nor was it subtle in any way. But it was definitely a fruit-forward nose feel that I got with apricot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I put apples and cherries. There's the other bourbon smells in there, cinnamon, vanilla, that kind of stuff. But apples and cherries is what popped out. And I could definitely see apricot now that you said that. I was like, oh, yeah. But I haven't eaten one of those in so long. I tasted it's very malty to me. You can taste the malted barley, the malted rye. And a lot of dark fruits, and it's woody. I can taste the oak in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was sweet forward for me, right at the tip of the tongue. Got the sweetness, kind of peachy, and certainly rich and oaky in its flavor, and it rests well on the tongue, and it's well-rounded. I mean, it's good.
Yeah, I would consider this full-bodied. Like that,
Yeah.
It's not one-dimensional. Like you said, well-rounded, full-bodied. Has, again, a woody finish. And I wrote down like an oily mouthfeel, like it coats your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And makes my mouth water, so it has some tannins in it, tannic qualities. Very good so far. We'll see what it gets at the end of the show.
I thought it had a somewhat long finish.
Yeah, it
and
lingers.
Certainly vanilla and cinnamon came out for me on that as well.
Okay.
It's 108 proof, but the heat is not like you think it's going to be.
No, it hides the heat well.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, it's great.
It's good stuff. Well, our gold standard now is Booker's 2025-02. So compared to that, that's kind of like we have to compare everything to that. We'll see how this holds up at the end of the show.
Yeah, I mean, so far the only thing that it's not doing is give me the heat around the eyes.
No.
That's
And
the
it
only thing
doesn't
it's not doing.
Tastes like disgusting old laundry or...
Right. Yeah, it's nice to have a nice one after a couple weeks in a row there.
You came through, Kevin.
Just getting scared.
So you brought a couple of sayings that we were going to kind of kick the show off with, but we skipped over it. But both of them are great. So why don't you go ahead and read one, and we'll talk about it, and then you can read the other.
Well, the first quote comes from Seneca. He who fears death will never do anything worthy of a living man.
Yeah, it's almost like you could just say, enough said. That says it all pretty good. But, I thought about this when a lot when I was in the military, of when I had an opportunity to do something, and I was like, oh, that's kind of scary. I might die. But what if you live? Then you think of the story you get to tell. That kind of stuff. since I was a kid. I feel like I've been looking for those things to do, whether jumping a bike off a ramp or climbing a tree or walking down a creek, see how far we can make it, that kind of stuff. If you can, it's almost like if you can maintain that boyish sense of adventure throughout up into your adulthood, you're going to live a really good life.
Willing to take a risk.
Yeah.
A desire to try something new.
There's definitely been times in my life where I've been more risk averse, where I've pulled back, and then I'm always like, dang it, why did I do that?
I think sometimes when we're risk averse, we have a purpose behind it that we may not recognize right away.
Yeah, I think for me, it's family, a lot, like wife and children, and, where I'm like, I don't want to risk it.
Family,
play the
jobs,
yeah.
Just the environment, who's looking, who's not looking.
Yeah, true. And then, eventually, we're all going to come to the end of our life and look back, and you're either going to have a box full of awesome pictures to look at, and you could tell stories and reminisce about great times, or you can be like, man,
Well, that kind of leads me.
I was here.
Yeah, that leads me into Ernest Hemingway's quote.
Yeah.
Every man's life ends the same way. It is only the details of how he lived and how he died that distinguish one man from another.
Yeah.
And so, you got that box full of pictures or mementos hanging on the shelf, like I'm seeing here, some of the things that you have hanging here. You come to my house, you get in my area, you see different things popping up there that are just, they remind you of either a good event or situation that you're involved in, a project, a mission, something that you accomplished. There's two sides to that, because I have the sense that when I walk into someone's office at work, and that person might have all their certificates and stuff hanging up.
Yeah.
One of my first things I'm looking for that's going through my head is, these are all great. They're 10, 20, 30 years old. Do you have anything less than 5 years old hanging up in here?
Right.
Or are you just resting on your memory? So I look for that. And then the other thing I do look for is, what are the things that are up there that make you who you are, or made you who you are today? Because even those things that are 10, 20, 30 years old matter.
Sure.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be there, unless you're just trying to be egocentric and have it up there. But again, if it's a 30-year-old certificate, why is it still there? Or something that's 5 years or less. So I think both ways.
Yeah. Yeah, this past week, obviously with my father passing away, then we're going through pictures, trying to find pictures for the obituary, or we're going to put like a memory board up, at the service. And just, man, it was a giant tub of pictures, just huge. And looking through all these pictures, I've never seen them before. My mom, when she's 22 years old, in a bikini down in the Virgin Islands after they got married, and like, dang, Mom, you were gorgeous. It's kind of sad to say that you were gorgeous. My mom's a beautiful woman, but
we know what you meant.
Yeah, and you see my dad when he's young and he's smiling and happy, holding the kids, and going fishing to Canada, or working in a bar he was working in a bar after he got out of the Army. Pictures of him behind the bar. Worked at a liquor store, doing this, that, all this other stuff. I was like, man, he really had a full life. And he was born just before the start of World War II in 1941. And he lived a long, full life. And he died surrounded by people who loved him.
He was born in 41?
41.
Okay, so the same age as Gail's dad.
Yeah, okay.
Or born the same year.
Right.
He passed away last fall.
Right, okay. Yeah. It was a long, drawn out death, basically. He had Parkinson's, cancer, dementia, and that's the reason I moved home when we found out he had cancer. I think God touched my heart and said, "Go home. It's time to go." So we immediately sold everything and just moved back here. And I'm thankful that I listened to God's calling there to do that, because I got to spend a year and a half with my dad. After I'd been gone for almost 20 years.
So the tub of pictures.
Yeah.
I have 6 or 7 tubs of pictures
Okay.
at home. Some reason my family makes me the family archivist. So I have stuff going so far back in, even in the 1800s.
Wow.
I don't know who these people are, and the
Right.
pictures aren't labeled.
Yeah.
Do I keep them? What am I going to do with these things? And then the other thing is, you're one tub. Are you ever going to actually spend time and try and organize them and put them in photo albums? Or they're just going to stay gathered in a tub?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think they're getting divided up a little bit amongst the kids.
Sure.
There's a lot of pictures of my kids when they're younger with Grandpa, so we're gonna keep those for them. A lot of pictures of me when I was younger. The pictures I haven't seen when I was a young child. I was like, whoa, where were we when we took this picture? What are we doing?
Right. I always fight that fight with myself. It's like,
Yeah.
what am I going to do with all these pictures?
Well, somebody will probably want to do some, family tree project one day, and those pictures will come in handy. You can kind of put faces to names eventually. I don't know. But it's a lot, man.
We have a lot where you have to put the name to the face, and everybody I know of that knows these people are dead.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be hard. I don't know, man. That's a tough call.
it is.
Yeah, there's like a sense of responsibility to maintain that stuff, too. I'm sure.
There is. And then I own a scanner. I scanned a bunch of them in.
Okay.
It's like a photo scanner. You can put a whole stack of up to like 100 and just go
Oh, wow.
shoots them through. I did that with a lot of them,
Mm-hmm.
but then I'm using up so much stuff in the cloud that I have to pay for cloud space.
Oh, no.
Well, what do I even want to do that? I don't know.
Yeah, put them on a hard drive or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of, and with me, around 2006, I got a phone with a camera on it. So a lot of the pictures of my kids are digital.
Right, so no one's ever going to see those pictures.
Yeah, they're going to be, when I die, they're going to be gone.
Right, that's disappointing too.
Yeah.
And so,
There's something about holding an actual picture, man. That's really cool. There's a whole photo album of Polaroids that my grandma took of my mom and her sisters and their family, and they're all put in the book perfectly. Everything has a label with Scotch tape on the bottom, and it's labeled, and it's a beautiful book of pictures, Polaroids. So that was neat, man. And last night we've been hanging out with Mom every night and having dinner with her every night. And all of my brothers and sisters sitting in the room, looking at pictures, laughing, having a drink, playing music. Dad wants this played at his funeral. Let's listen. And then everybody's crying because it's super sad. And then, just went out with my brother and my son and get some suits because, every man should have a black suit, right? And so we went to Kohl's and went suit shopping for the funeral. And we had fun talking junk, like dudes. And it's really cool how death can bring family closer. And that's a testament to, the person who's passed away too. If they bring people together after they die, that's great. That's a good thing.
very much so. And isn't it amazing how in times of mourning is when everyone comes together and shares life together,
Yeah.
laughs,
Right.
has good memories, and that's not something that is unusual. Almost everyone experiences the same thing,
Sure.
and it's even biblical.
Is it?
And as you mentioned it, I just remembered that, so can I read it?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
So this is from the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7. A good name is better than fine perfume, and the day of death better than the day of birth. It is better to go to a house of mourning than to go to a house of feasting. For death is the destiny of every man. The living should take this to heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, because a sad face is good for the heart. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of pleasure. Now, ain't that amazing how right here in this book,
Right.
the Bible, it says periods of mourning is better than periods of laughter.
Yeah.
And you just said it.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is it brings you back to reality that we're all going to die. Every single one of us. And for us Christians, believers in Jesus Christ, to die is to gain.
Right.
And so it is kind of it's a weird thing. You're sad that person's gone, but you're happy that they're with Jesus, like they're in heaven, like they're with the person, our Lord, that loves them more than anybody else on earth could possibly love them.
Right. And a sad event brings people together.
Brings everybody together, and there's love in the room for each other. There's no fight. We're not bickering and fighting and arguing.
Right. What's the Latin phrase?
Memento mori.
Right. Remember you will die.
Yeah. So that came about when the Roman emperor would be going down the street. They would have somebody behind him, so he's getting all these cheers and adulations and whatever, and then somebody would be behind him reminding him, remember you will die one day. So keeping him grounded.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's a great thing, man. And people avoid it. People avoid death. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to admit that they're going to die one day. They try to prolong their life as long as possible. They try to look as young. They try to do these crazy things to their face to look young.
Many churches we go to don't even talk about death.
Right.
Other than the spiritual death, Jesus died on the cross. They
Mm-hmm.
kind of keep it on the surface.
Yeah.
But the idea of contemplating death is something that is completely erased from our society.
Yeah.
And it used to be something that was very important, especially for men, because it helps identify who they are, what their purpose is.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get over that feeling of fear of death,
Yeah.
then you have the joy of life right behind it. And, we spend all our time today, with drugs and plastic surgery and different kinds of concoctions that you come up with all day long to try to prolong your life.
Mm-hmm.
And you're wasting all this time when you could be living your life.
Right. Just like we talked a few shows ago. Stop preparing to live and live, dang it.
Yeah.
Go do it. Like, what are you waiting on?
Mm-hmm.
And there really is nothing that will bring that home to you than watching your father die. I was there, right? I had my hand on him when he died, when he took his last breath. And I'm grateful for that. Even though it's a sad occasion, but I'm so glad that I was there with him. And the day before he died, I had occasion to pray with him, and he was unconscious, and he hadn't been awake for days. And I held his hand, and in one hand, and I put my hand on his heart on the other. And I just said, Dad, it's Matt, and I'm here with you, and I want you to know that I love you. And we talked about the gospel. I'm holding his hand, and I would say, we all need to come to the realization and come to face the fact that we're sinners in need of salvation, that we need forgiveness from our Lord. And if you haven't, I just said it out loud, if you haven't done that yet, I want you to pray with me right now. And I said, if you want me to pray, squeeze my hand. And he squeezed my dang hand, man. I'm not kidding. And I was on my knees praying with my dad. And I know the Holy Spirit was in that room. I could feel it. I'd never felt anything like that before in my life. Never. And, he ended up dying the next morning, 3 a.m. Took his last breath. And I was happy that his suffering was over. I was sad that my dad's gone. But even more than that, I feel like he gave his life to Jesus. I feel like he asked for forgiveness. And even though he wasn't conscious, he wasn't responding at all to anybody. Like, you could rub his sternum, try to get him to stir, nothing. And he squeezed my dang hand, man, responding to me. I swear. And it was amazing. So
Praise God.
Praise God, yeah. So I was like, I'm cool, guys. Like, you know, your pain is gone. You're now in heaven with our Lord who loves you more than I could ever love you, more than anybody else could. And I'm happy for you. And I'm going to see you again. One day he's going to, I think the Bible says that our loved ones will greet us when we get to heaven.
I remember when Gail's mom passed away back in early 2000s, around 2003, I think. And we're at her service, and the pastor of her church is speaking. And, you hear these sermons all the time that they talk about. This man gets up there and starts talking, and he is preaching victory, victory. And he's giving a cheer to everyone in attendance because she was in victory over death.
Yeah.
And the physical death.
Right.
And it was very emotional and motivating at the same time because, we're living good lives here.
Sure.
And we have our times of trouble, and, I don't want to leave this earth without seeing my own grandkids or my children succeeding, things like that. But
Rachel, hurry up.
I got 5 kids.
Yeah.
I could have a whole brood.
Oh, yeah.
At some point.
My dad had 11 grandchildren.
But,
and one on the way.
The reality is for me, what I know and what I believe is when I die, I am going to be in such a better place. And I'll be tap dancing, laughing, cheering all the way. And I won't even think about all the bad times.
Yeah.
That won't even cross my mind. I'm pretty sure I'll still have the memory, but that won't even be close to what I'm about to experience.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't want to leave, but at the same time, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's an odd feeling, but
it is very strange. And I should say that I wasn't the only one praying for my dad or praying with my dad. There was other believers in my family that spent time talking with my dad about the gospel message and the need for forgiveness and accepting Jesus. And so thank God for them as well, because they played a good role. But ultimately all the glory goes to God because, we're just humans. We're just here for, we're vessels. That's kind of what I feel like. I pray all the time for God to use me for his will. And I think that's what it was. It was God working through me. It wasn't anything I did. I just stopped being stubborn for a little while.
It's a good point of reflection to actually embrace that and say to yourself, if I can only release myself to truly be in God's will every single day, what can really be accomplished?
Yeah, and that could be a terrifying thought at the same time because it's like, ooh, what is it going to ask me to do? Am I going to have to go to the Congo or, wherever? It's kind of like the weird thing is, dude, I used to struggle a lot with my faith of like resisting God's call, whatever. But I willingly jumped out of airplanes in the Army with a parachute packed by somebody I had no idea who it was.
And I bet you didn't pray one time.
Oh, I did.
Okay.
Here's the prayer I prayed.
Okay.
Here's the exact prayer I prayed. I would say, God, I pray to you right now that all my equipment will work properly. And if my equipment fails, I pray that I will remember my training. But if that fails me too, I'll see you soon. And I would go jump out of the plane. But the fact that you just strap this parachute on by some private first class, is back there stuffing parachutes all day. And then you're like, all right, I'm going to get on this plane flown by people I don't know.
Well, there's a tag on the parachute, so if you fail, at least they know who packed
they'll know. But that's just a literal leap of faith, man. And I would do that kind of stuff all the time. But you struggle with talking about Jesus with strangers. Like, why is that? That's a weird thing, man. But the thing is, all of that stuff that I did that was really scary, I was scared when I did it, but I did it anyway. And that's kind of what I have to remember when it comes to talking about my faith. If I'm scared to talk about my faith, and I should probably be doing it. It's probably something good. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We'll see you, Dad, one day. And we got the funeral next week because the holidays, pushed everything back. And we're going to do military honors. And I have the honor of carrying the folded flag from the church out to the cemetery and hand it off to the honor guard. And so hopefully I can make it through that without breaking down, because hearing taps is rough, and then especially hearing it for somebody you love is even more rough. So we'll see, man. I'm not looking forward to it, but I am so happy to do that honor for my father. My mom said it was very important to him that it be done properly. The funny thing is, we were at the funeral home doing the arrangements, and the lady funeral director was like, depending on what the priest wants, we may do the military honors, and then he'll do the final prayers and all that. And I was like, no, stop. I don't care what the priest wants. The flag is last, and we'll play taps. That's protocol. That's how it's supposed to go. That's what we're going to do.
Right.
And she said, oh, okay. Well, I'll make sure he knows that. Good, because I will let him know. Because, that's what Dad deserves. Every veteran deserves it to be done properly. So I've been, reviewing how I hold the flag, how I walk with it, how I hand it over, going over my drill and ceremony, my hand salute. I'm going to practice that because I want to do it right. And that's what he deserves. So...
What did he do in the Army?
He was an engineer in Germany. He was actually there before and during the building of the Berlin Wall.
Okay.
He was in West Germany. He was a bridge crew member. And, that was it. He was drafted. I don't know if he was drafted. No, he enlisted. Him and like 3 other guys were like, yeah, we're going to go enlist in the Army, and talking all this big shit. And when they got to the recruiting office, he went and signed up, and then it came out, and the guys were like, nah, man, I'm not doing this.
Oh, wow.
He all backed out. He was the only one who enlisted.
You know who your real friends are.
Yeah, really. But he had a great time over in Germany, and he's very proud of his service, and, Cold War veteran. And, he wore his Army hat every day. Even when he was deep in dementia, he would be sure to wear his Army veteran hat. So he was very proud of it.
As we were preparing for this show, one of the things that when you mentioned memento mori, remember that you will die, I looked online at a bunch of artwork that came out around the Middle Ages into the Renaissance period, and many paintings of the art in those hundreds of years that took place had several things that were in common. For instance, if you painted someone who was known as, if you did portrait painting, someone who was a scholar or a doctor or an educator or even a priest or something, there are certain things that are always hidden in the paintings. Things like a skull.
Yeah, usually they would be like holding the skull in their hand.
Yeah,
right?
or studying it.
Yeah.
They're contemplating it or whatever.
Right.
And then you would have a hourglass. You may see flowers in the background or something like that. You may see bubble or some smoke.
Oh.
And all these things, even torn pages from a book.
Oh, okay.
Or just open books around. All these things had different meanings for the person in the picture. And there's 3 that always stand out. One is the skull, the hourglass, and the flower.
Yeah.
And they all represented life, death, and the time you spend in your life. And they were good reminders because, again, we talked about contemplating death. You live your life, you contemplate death, because once you can contemplate your death and figure out that, it's going to happen, and this is just how it is, and you get over that hump of the fear and anxiety of death, then you're free to live. And so I'll put a couple up on our Facebook page this next week about those paintings so you can see what we're talking about. But they're very interesting. And just to see some of them that were on there, I had a couple of them that I brought in today for us to look at. And, you know, I'm living life contemplating death. And, you know, I mean, that's what we should be doing. Montaigne was, have you ever heard of Montaigne?
Sounds familiar.
Okay. He was a prolific diary keeper, 1500s, I think. Prolific diary keeper and essayist. And, you know, he retired early in his life and devoted his whole life to writing. He's from France. And publishing his essays, and they're hilarious, actually.
Yeah.
Even today, they're timeless. Many of the things that he wrote about, but he was really big on living life and how to live. And there were, you know, even his room, his little writing area in his room, several things he used to write on the ceiling tiles and the timbers.
Oh, yeah.
He wrote phrases and things to remind him of different things in life so he doesn't lose focus.
Huh, okay.
But, you know, when he got near his middle-aged period, he spent a lot of time contemplating death. And then once he got over that hump, he just loved life and had a full life after that. He had some crazy things on here. You know, like number one was, don't worry about death. That was one of them. But then he goes into details after, like, pay attention. Be born. Read a lot. Forget most of what you read. And be slow-witted.
That way you can read it again for the first time. Right?
Sure. Survive love and loss.
Oh.
Use little tricks. That goes towards his art of living. Question everything.
Love it.
Keep a private room behind the shop. And this is one of those things where, again, talking about man space.
Yeah.
Every man needs to have a place to go to. That's his, that he can be with himself privately and either reflect, expound on what it was that he was doing, just take a break, maybe even sneak in a nap.
Yeah.
You know, which would be great. Wake from the sleep of habit. Live temperately. Guard your humanity.
Oh, that's a big one, man.
Or how about do something no one has done before?
Yeah, good luck doing that in 2025.
Right. See the world. Give up control. Do a good job, but not too good a job. Because his thing was, if you do a good job so well, people expect you to do it forever.
Right.
And it's like, no, you don't want to do that job forever. You want to go on and do something else. So do a really good job, just barely.
Just a little bit above satisfactory.
Yeah. Philosophize only by accident.
Yeah.
Be ordinary and imperfect.
Awesome.
And let life be its own answer.
That's
In other
great.
words, not the end.
Right. That's great. Huh.
So there's a lot out there.
Yeah. What do you think about retirement, early retirement? If you had the opportunity to retire early, do you feel like you owe it to everybody else who can't retire early to just go and enjoy it?
Wow.
Like look, I'm bald, right? And I shave my head. When I see somebody with a full head of hair and they shave their head bald, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You know, like you have you could grow that out and have, like, you could comb it and it'd be beautiful hair, but you're just shaving it off? How dare you, man? It's like an insult. You know, so somebody
That's a good point.
who could, like, if you could retire at 50, but you choose to keep working until you're 70, like, you know, if you're the guy who has to work to your 70, you'd be like, you SOB.
I had a job. I had a job in which the person there was a person there who worked well up to age 80. And I did not like that one bit.
Yeah.
Not that he was working or that he could retire, but he was holding up the promotion of everybody behind him.
Well, yeah.
He's holding a position that if you're retired, this person behind me, the Gen Xer,
Yeah.
can actually get promoted into that guy's job and
Yeah.
move forward with his life.
That's a big boomer move right there.
It is.
Yeah.
And, you know, so yeah, if you are 50 years old and you can retire comfortably and live your life, get out of the workplace.
Yeah, just go.
Let someone move up behind you.
Go live life, man.
Yes.
Enjoy it.
If you were able to retire today, would you? And what would you do?
So being able to retire for me, here's the thing that tells me I'm not ready to retire is that question, what would I do when I retire? So my goal now is like, I need to get some hobbies. I need to get something that I can keep doing for the rest of my life, like whether woodworking, which I love doing, or painting or whatever, traveling. So yeah, I would have to be able to do that kind of stuff to stay active, keep my brain going, keep my body moving. Because if I don't have something to do, I will just sit on the couch and watch TV all day. So I don't want to do that at all.
Right, because you're not going to go out every single day and go explore a new park or, you know,
Right.
be on vacation. People don't go on vacation 365 days a year. I'm sorry.
No, that's not a vacation. That's your job now.
Yeah.
Like you're traveling to your job. My goal, here's honestly what my retirement goal is to buy an RV, and my children will be young, still be young. My two youngest will still be, and we're homeschool, that we'll put them in the RV, go to a national park, spend a week, 2 weeks there while we're doing their homeschool activities. They can learn about that region of the country, and it'll be part of their education. So that's my retirement, is going to be educating my children and using my time and money to educate them and give them as well-rounded of an experience in childhood as possible. Not just like, well, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but, you know, put them in soccer and take them to soccer games and soccer practice so they can be around other little snot-nosed punks who have, you know, no respect for anything. You know, it drives me crazy when people are like, well, you're going to homeschool your kids, they're going to miss out on the interaction with all these. I'm like, no, man. No, like, are you sad because my kid's not going to be around a bunch of little psychopaths that, you know, have no, you know, like, what are you upset about? Like, you're just mad because I can do it and you can't, I think.
There's something to be said about the person who criticizes you. And if you listen to their criticism, it's because they can't do what you're doing.
Jealousy, yeah. Yeah, so, look, I feel like I've been blessed way beyond what I deserve as far as, like, being able to have a single income household. And these are just things that were given. Like, I'm like, man, I don't deserve this. And I feel guilty sometimes, like, but I'm going to, like the guy who retires early because he can. I feel like I need to use the gifts that God gave me, and I just really struggle. I really, really worry about doing it correctly. You know, like I don't want to be wasteful with what God's given me. But yeah, dude, that's why if I could retire tomorrow, so like with my retirement plan of what I want to do in retirement, if I could do that tomorrow, yeah, I'd be gone.
There is a lot of people who will say that, well, I can't retire until I hit Medicare age. That's the line.
Right.
You know, what about my health care? What about my health care? Mm-hmm. Well, first off, ask yourself, are you healthy already?
Right.
Do you have a history of bad things happening to you? Like, I have a cancer history. Mm-hmm. You know, it pops up every now and then.
Yeah.
That's my big thing. However, outside of that, do I have anything else that really bothers me or that I have to be worried about? No.
Right.
I don't. Because I do what I can to lead a healthy lifestyle.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? Okay. So there is a woman, a real doctor who is going crazy on TikTok right now because she was going around and figuring out pricing for healthcare if you had no insurance. And what she found out, for instance, because you have insurance and you go get an MRI, and they're going to charge you $2,200 kind of thing.
Yeah, my wife was telling me about this.
Yeah, okay, so $2,200 for your MRI,
Right.
and your insurance will cover all of it, but $150 or whatever you got to pay out of pocket.
Sure.
However, if you approach them and say, I have no insurance, I'm going to pay cash,
Mm-hmm.
I need an MRI, and they go, oh, that'll be $210.
Yep. We talked about doing this with the birth of our next child. Like, just go like, hey, we're going to pay cash for this birth. How much is it going to cost?
Right. So the reality is, if you are, again, cash is king.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, but cash is king.
Even though the penny's going away.
Yeah, well, it's already gone.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I was at Quick Trip earlier this week, and they were rounding up. They don't even, they'll take the pennies, but they're not giving any back.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, it's just one of those things that, if you take the reality of healthcare, maybe you should go to your doctor and find out. For instance, I see a doctor now who accepts no insurance.
Yeah.
And, I pay $110 a pop
Mm-hmm.
when I see him once a month. But he has given me all the healthcare needs that I need.
Preventative maintenance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that is worth the money than going to, my primary care doctor and paying a $25 copay.
Yeah.
And then for a physical. And while I'm in there going for the physical, he says, do you want me to test you for this? And then he'll bring it up, but then he'll say, but understand it's not part of the physical, so I can't do that at this. Or if you go get your eyes checked, like if I go to an ophthalmologist with my insurance,
Mm-hmm.
an ophthalmologist automatically does vision.
Mm-hmm.
So they can give you a prescription for your eyeglasses. However, that's not part of your visit. So they can't give you the prescription because of the way the insurance is. You have to have a separate visit.
Right.
Well, when I see an ophthalmologist, my copay is $75. So I have to go back to my ophthalmologist, pay $75 to give me the prescription. You already had the last visit.
Yeah, it's a scam.
Or if I walked in and paid cash, you give me the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I always said that about like car insurance too. If you didn't have to pay car insurance every month, but instead you put $250 into a savings account, and then if you happen to get in an accident, you would have the cash to pay for it, to get it all fixed, and you'd probably still have a lot of cash left over.
Right.
And you wouldn't have to be going back and forth with insurance companies fighting for this and that. Same thing with health insurance. I love that health savings account. That's great. Pre-tax going onto a debit card that you use to pay for your copays or whatever. That's a cool thing. I think that started when Bush was president, wasn't it?
I don't know. But see, I have a wild idea.
All right.
When it comes to healthcare. Right now, it's a benefit with the company,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think they should eliminate it. No longer is healthcare a employer-provided thing.
Okay.
So all that money that the employer, because what people don't understand is when you have that health insurance, the employer pays a giant chunk of your health care, and you're paying part of it.
Right.
All right, so they're absorbing a lot of the cost. Can you imagine how much more money you would earn per hour if the employer didn't have to do that, or how much more money the employer had to be able to invest in the company and make it better?
Yeah,
that's just part A.
A higher match on a 401k.
Right. Well, that's part A. Part B is because it's no longer a benefit with an employer, and the government eliminates its regulation. And right now, because, like, for instance, healthcare can't cross borders. Like Missouri health insurance with United Healthcare is not the same in Illinois or Iowa. So you eliminate that, and then it goes back to normal insurance companies like USAA, Allstate, Farmers, just like your home and your car.
Yeah, you could just get one insurance policy.
And what happens is it becomes competitive.
That's
because every insurance company now wants your money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to drive down cost. It's going to eliminate all the BS that has to do with all the government hierarchy and red tape.
Yeah.
And you're going to bring everything back down to normal again. And now I can shop around. And I can have, my own personalized health care. Like, I don't need all this other stuff that someone might need for them. They can do all that. For instance, I would need, cancer-related stuff for my health care. You might not need it
Right.
or even want it. And then so everything is competitive, and you itemize it just like you do your car insurance.
Yeah, they would call that a la carte insurance.
Right.
Where you would pick.
And so you pay, and that's how you pay. And it goes to your regular insurance company now.
Mm-hmm.
Just like before, you file a claim, everything, all that's the same.
Yep.
But then, the employer's free, the government's free, and now it's back down, and you're bringing the cost back down. Because the hospitals are making their money off what the government's paying them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even the ones that are publicly traded,
100%.
you've got stock.
Yep.
So get the government out.
There you go. Then you could just build that into your retirement plan and start saving to make sure you can make it. My plan is 100 years old. So I want to have enough money to live to 100, and I want to hit $0 on my 100th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
That's my goal. I'm not leaving my kids inheritance. Like, if I have money to give to my kids, I want to give it to them while I'm still alive. Because it's going to be a gift, and I want to see the joy in their face. And
you're going to take them all on a trip.
Take them on trips, or help them with a down payment on a house,
mm-hmm.
help them get out of debt, whatever, man. Yeah, I don't want to leave anything when I die, except maybe a box of pictures. That'd be about it.
Right. Your own tub.
Yeah, tub, or actually, it'd be old cell phones. Here, figure out how to get into this with my 10-digit passcode to get in.
Right.
Oh man. Well, you and I, so I'm 46. I'll be 47 next year in 2026. You're 50.
I'm 55.
55?
Yeah, I'll be 56 at the end of this year, right at the start.
And
I'm a New Year baby.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you are. So we're kind of past the middle age, right? Am I middle-aged?
I still
46?
consider myself at the middle age because I think I'm going to be here at least until I'm 90. So I still have 40. Yeah. I still have 30 years to go.
Yeah. So that's something I look
35.
at. I turned to my wife. I was like, so Dad's gone. I do have 2 older brothers that are Hutchisons, but they don't have children. So through me, I have 2 sons, 1 on the way. Oh, did I tell you? We're having a boy. Did I tell you that?
No.
Yeah, we found out we're having a boy.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks, man. His name's going to be John, after my father. And John is a family name.
Are you excited or disappointed? Because you said you wanted a girl.
Wanted a girl, but I'm happy with whatever God gave.
Okay.
Healthy baby. But I'm super excited we're having a boy. I'm a good boy dad.
Well, he'll protect his bigger sister.
Absolutely. And his name's, we're going to name him John. John's a family name that goes all the way back to Scotland in my family, with the Hutchison family. And Hamilton, John Hamilton Hutchison. This is going to be his name. And Hamilton's another family name. That's my grandfather's middle name.
John Hamilton Hutchison Heimerschmidt. That's nice.
But we're going to call him Jack. That's going to be his name. We'll call him Jack. The way I name my boys is assuming they're going to become president one day. So I have Timothy David Hutchison, and I'll put president in front. President Timothy David Hutchison. President Andrew William Hutchison. President John Hamilton Hutchison. They all sound good. Just in case, you never know. Just in case they become president one day.
True.
Got to have a strong name.
That's cool.
So we're excited. We're excited to have a healthy baby. But I told my wife, I was like, man, it's like the bloodline, it goes through me. Now my younger brother has a boy. So the Hutchison name will go through there, but my 2 boys will carry their name. So you think about those things when a death happens in your family, especially your father, you think about the legacy a lot. I think about it a lot. Like, whoa, like all of my dad's grandchildren, when we all get together I'm the oldest Hutchison male now at the family get together because my one brother lives in Iowa. The other one lives over in central Missouri. So we all get together. I'm like, dude, I gotta fill the role of like being excited about dance recitals or whatever, kind of show up to things Grandpa would be to. And so I'm kind of excited about that. That'd be
Being
fun.
the patriarch.
Patriarch. That's what my wife said. So I'm talking about. She's like, Matt, you're the patriarch. I was like, whoa.
That's what I've called myself for many years.
That's a heavy burden, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, I got to step up. I got to start doing some squats so I can carry this load.
But it's not a burden.
No, it's not.
Right?
It's not. It's a blessing. I
Right.
look at it like
Yeah.
it's a blessing. I'm super excited about the future. I'm happy to be living my life. And I'm excited to see what the future brings. My little boy is going to be here in June, and it'll be fun. I'm excited to see even though my son Drew's coming into town for a funeral for his grandpa, I'm excited to see him. I don't get to see him but once a year or so, and I'm glad I get to see him again. And so these are the things, like the death in the family, as sad as they are, like we said, it brings joy as well. And when you avoid that, a lot of people avoid death and they don't want to talk about it, and they just want to be sad. Like, no, man, look at the silver lining. Look at really what's happening here. Look, just take a step back and see. We're all going to sit down and have a great meal together. We're going to toast my dad. We're going to play some of his favorite songs. We're going to remember him, and talk about his whole life. We'll tell stories about him, and it's going to be great.
Right.
What's the big deal, man?
A time to live and a time to die.
That's right. It's like some of the most human things we do.
Time
right?
to laugh, time to mourn. Right?
That's right. You're born, like seeing a baby born and seeing somebody pass on like that is like two of the most human things you could possibly see.
And you cry for both.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway, hopefully I'll be able to, I talked to the doctor. I'm going to get to birth my boy. I'll be able to do the delivery. I'm super excited for that, man. Because I helped out like a little bit with Emma. I had the gloves on. I was ready because the doctor was late, and the nurses were like, "Oh man, we might have to do this now." And I was like, "Hey, I'm here, man. Call me, put me in, coach. I'm ready." Came close a couple times on the ambulance with some pregnant women, but didn't happen. So, but this time I'm like, "Hey, doc, I'm fully qualified to do this." We learn about how to do it in EMT school, and I know we've practiced. I know what I'm doing. I'm ready to go. And she's like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, you could do it for sure. I'll just be right there, in case you need me." I was like, hell yes. This is going to be awesome. Super excited about that. Anyway, it feels weird to be this happy just a couple days after my dad died. I struggle with that too, Like, why do I have this joy when my dad just died?
Yeah, you'll still have your moment. You'll be. What's going to happen is you're going to be alone.
Yeah.
And you're going to think about everything.
Yeah.
Because once the family goes back home and does their thing again, and you're going to get back together occasionally, but that post-mourning period will creep up. Yeah. And you'll have your period of mourning, private.
Yeah, I remember when it hit me with my grandpa. When my grandpa died, I just like, oh, okay, like he's dead. It's time. He was 90. I think he was 90-something years old. I was like, all right. Hung up the phone. And it wasn't like a day later. I was just standing in my living room, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks, and I just broke down crying. Mm-hmm. And it was probably 10 seconds of crying, and I instantly got this feeling like, hey, what are you doing? Knock it off. Like what my grandpa would say. He didn't want you crying. Don't cry for me. What are you doing? And so I just wiped the tears and be like, all right.
Move on.
Yep. We'll see you, Grandpa. So, yeah, I think really, what I'm feeling is probably the joy of listening to God's will, maybe. Like maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just happy to see my family coming together and we're not bickering and fighting over objects. Like, oh, I want to get this to Dad's. I want this. There's none of that. So I'm just happy everybody's getting along and that we all came together to support him. And he died at home. He didn't have to go to a nursing home. He wasn't in the hospital surrounded by people he doesn't know. It was in his home. And
Would you want your death to be instant or drawn out some?
So that's the old question. Would you rather burn out or fade away? Type okay, so would I rather... It depends, man. Like...
If a heart attack takes you out in the next 2 minutes
Yeah.
versus you have 8 days,
I think I'd rather have 8 days.
would you?
If I knew it was coming. Yeah, because it would give me
Well, yeah, you know it's coming because you're diagnosed with something.
Yeah, you have 8 days to live.
Or you end up going into hospice, like your dad did, my
Yeah.
dad did, Gail's dad did,
Mm-hmm.
and watching them do their thing.
I would not want to die the way like my dad did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would. I would rather go instantly. But if I am like, hey, in 8 days, the lights turn it off like that.
Well, yeah, but at 8 days, it's instant. So what I'm saying is, would you rather have a drawn out end time or instant?
Yeah, instant.
Yeah.
I would rather just
Me
go.
too.
Yeah. Because I feel like if you go instantly, well, like they always say about a soldier who falls in battle, like he lives forever. You're forever, you're that age forever, an 18-year-old, 20-year-old, whatever. And your picture's there, and that's you forever. So if I do die instantly, I hope it's doing something significant, helping somebody, or, whatever. Climbing a mountain and I fall off a cliff. So whatever. Something cool. That's what I would say. I wanted to do something cool. But I don't know, man. I knew a woman whose husband died in his sleep while she was laying next to him in bed. He was young. He was a young drill sergeant at Fort Jackson. And she woke up and had to do CPR on. Like, that's traumatic, man. Like, it's terrible. So I don't know. I wouldn't want it to do like, if I'm going to die instantly, I don't want to do it in front of my family. You know what I mean? That would be weird. Because it's weird, like different circumstances, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of death, with my time in the fire service and working on an ambulance. And I told my family this. I've seen a lot of death. And Dad went peacefully. At like his last few days, he was not in pain. He was peaceful. So, I've seen people die in not peaceful and painful ways. And I've seen the family members dealing with it right then and there. And we didn't have any of that, so that was good.
Good.
It was another bummer show, though.
Why?
We need to light it. I don't know.
I don't know. I thought it was fine.
It is fun, man. I'm like I told you, I'm okay talking about this stuff because I'm comfortable. Finally, in a place in my life where I'm comfortable with death.
We talked about good stuff though too.
Yeah, it's good. Good to get it out there. I think if people listen to this are impacted at all, I'm super thankful for that, and I'm glad to be here to talk to you about it. I enjoy doing this podcast. It's been fun.
I never did a story on Facebook before. I just never entered a story. I post things all the time.
What is a story?
A story is a short video, usually with or without music,
Mm-hmm.
and it only lasts a few seconds.
Okay.
And then it's the story, but then it expires and goes away.
Okay.
After a certain period of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I did one from our last show. I did our Bigfoot sighting.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I made that a story, and I got a little notification this morning that says your story had 4 views before it expired. Create a new story.
4 views.
Yep. That was funny. I do have a public service announcement.
All right.
So there is something called the Radiation Exposure Compensation Agreement. I think it's agreement. or amendment. It's RECA, RECA. And if anyone in the St. Louis area who lived in a dozen zip codes, and it's North St. Louis, St. Louis City, North St. Louis, coming all the way out here to St. Charles, O'Fallon,
Weldon Springs.
Weldon Springs in there.
Yeah.
You can. I'll post it on Facebook. So if you lived in those zip codes for a period of 2 years or more after 1949, and you got cancer, you can file a claim through the government. It's already been set aside as part of this Radiation Exposure Compensation Act. There you go. You can file a claim through the RECA program to get compensation from the federal government. The monies are already set aside. You just got to file. So there are not every cancer qualifies. Certain cancers do. So you just have to look at the list. And my cancer, the parotid gland or the salivary gland, qualifies. So I started going through the process, and it's easy and not easy.
Easy because you're a hoarder.
Yeah, the application is easy. The documentation isn't so easy.
Yeah.
Or it could be, because you have to have proof of residency in those zip codes. So let's say you lived there in the 70s or 80s, but you haven't lived there since then. You have to prove that. So if you lived somewhere in a zip code and you left there in the 80s or whatever,
yeah,
you have to prove that you lived there. For some people it's easy, some people it's not. But the documentation is actually well thought out. For instance, do you have any pay stubs? Do you have school records?
Postcards?
Voter registration?
Yeah.
Postcards, letters with the envelope and it's still stamped and it's got all your date.
Probably the easiest one are school records, right? Like report cards or that get mailed out.
So everything is available. I'm doing this research and going through this application process. I found out that you can contact your school district. They will provide the records. You can go and get voter registration records if you were a voter, registered to vote. You can go to the recorder of deeds if you owned a home.
Oh, to change zip codes too.
Yes. So I ran into that. So the zip code I grew up in was 63366. In 2005, it changed to 63368, my address. So I searched 5 different places. I called, and everyone redirected me to someone else. And finally, I got a hold of someone through St. Charles County addressing.
Well, first you got a hold of Josh Hawley's office. Though,
I did.
Senator Hawley.
Right.
And so they responded.
They did. They actually responded, and they got me started.
So shout out
I
to
sound funny.
Hawley. Yeah, it's something in the settings changed when we...
Anyway, so I finally found someone within St. Charles County named Sarah, who does it. And she was able to provide me a letter that documented the change of zip code and the year from my address. And she even provided me a plot map.
Oh, nice.
Showing my address within the zip code. And anyway, all this stuff. You can get all these records. All you got to do is prove 2 years of residency. That's it. And so I was able to get all these records together, the application. I was at a loss. I wanted to make sure I was doing it right. There's only one organization in the St. Louis area that will sit down with you and go over everything.
Okay.
It's called the Pink Angels Foundation.
Pink Angels.
Yeah, they're in North Florissant, off of North Lafayette, off of Graham Road. Anyway, I went to them today.
Okay.
because I just wanted to know what their hours were, because I've sent emails, called, I can't get no responses.
Uh-huh.
I went there, and I just happened to walk up to the door to get a picture of the hours, and a woman was unlocking the door. Well, she's part of the Pink Angels Foundation. And she goes, we're closed today, but if you want to come inside, I'll schedule you for an appointment.
Oh, wow.
And I said, okay, great. So I went inside. While we're talking, she did have 2 appointments that day because she didn't realize the office was going to be closed.
Mm-hmm.
But she honored those 2 appointments.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, while she's scheduling my date, she goes, do you have your stuff with you? And I said, I do. I have it all in the car. And she goes, my appointment is at 10 a.m. It's 10 till. Do you think it'll take longer than 10 minutes? I said, no, I've got it all. I just want someone to, validate what I have. She goes, bring it in. Let's do it right now.
Oh, wow.
So I brought it all in. Her name is Christina. Very helpful. She looked at my application, says, don't forget to fill out this section, mark that block, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And then she looked at all my supporting documents, and she goes, you've got more than enough here, because they have to be originals.
Yeah.
Or they have to be certified.
And you have to give them up, right? You have to send the originals.
You do send the originals if you're going to send the originals. Now, if you don't send the originals, you have to get a certified copy. Something with a notary does not qualify as certified.
Really?
It has to be something that's got the raised stamp, all that stuff that comes from the organization itself.
Right.
So think about that when you're putting your stuff together. Fortunately, everything I had was original. I'm going to send in all my originals. I got assurances from the Coldwater Lake Moms organization and Josh Hawley's office, Senator Hawley's office, that my originals will get sent back to me after they process.
Okay.
And it's just like doing your passport. You got to send in your original birth certificate.
This is incredible, because I remember Josh Hawley fighting tooth and nail for this to recognize Coldwater Creek, what the federal government did in Coldwater Creek, like with dumping nuclear waste, basically. And it's still an issue today. People still live there today.
Right.
And he's like, what are we going to do with this land? I guess apparently now they're going to start buying it back from people to do some remediation or something, but who knows if that's actually
I don't know, because it's in the groundwater. It's everywhere.
It's
anywhere.
crazy.
So I went through the Pink Angels Foundation, walked me through everything. I showed her some of my documents. She said, they won't accept this. They won't accept that. They'll take this. They'll take that. So it was a lot. I felt so much better walking out of there at the end of it. And she was happy to see the zip code letter and the other stuff that was there. And she recommended I do a cover letter on the things that seem odd. Oh, okay. For instance, my name changed because I had adopted it when I turned 18. So she said, include that in your cover letter. So I have to include both my birth certificates, my original and my other one, and my adoption paperwork. I have to include all this stuff. Wow. But school records, I still have my commencement program when I graduated high school. She goes, that's good.
That's why your whole family trusts you with all the pictures.
Yeah.
Because they know you're not going to get rid of it.
She said, all that stuff counts. If you want to stick it all in there, stick it all in there. Make copies of it before you send it. Send it priority mail so it's trackable. Yeah. She said it takes 4 to 6 weeks. Now, I'm telling everybody this because if you have a family member or if you have cancer of some sort and you're from this area, you can look up the zip code and see if you live there.
Was prostate cancer on the list?
I can't remember. I'll post it.
Yeah, okay.
But you go through this process. If you are living and you file and everything is good to go, that's all you have to do. You will get a letter that says, we received it, we're processing, blah, blah, blah. It is $50,000, period. There's no less than or more than. You will get $50,000. Every single person. If you have a family member who passed away and you file on their behalf, it is $25,000. The money is already set aside. It's already sitting there.
Right. This isn't welfare or Medicaid. This is not a handout. This is money that they owe you for what they did.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Right. And it is there. You can file all the way up, I think, until January of 2027. So you have a year
Right.
to file. But I'm here to tell you that there's like somewhere in the neighborhood of 300,000 people that qualify. And don't be on the back end. If you're hearing it right now, get your stuff together. Go see the Pink Angels Foundation, ladies. Or,
Dude, how many, like, really, truly good people just stepped up to help you?
Yeah.
You know, from Josh Hawley's office, it's mind-boggling that a politician's actually doing what he said he's going to do.
Even in St. Charles County, Sally, who did the letter for me, she actually emailed me back after she sent me the letter. It said, if you don't mind, can you let me know if this is okay?
Yeah.
Because I know other people are going to contact me, because I was the second person who contacted her. And I walked her through what's needed. So she was able to provide it. But she said, if you don't mind, can you let me know what's going on or how it's working? Because my mom, I want to file for my mom.
Wow.
And I said, absolutely, I'll help you. I reached out to Senator Hawley's office and gave them the correct contact information.
I knew you would.
For the zip code. So that way they have it. They responded and said, thank you very much. We were not aware.
Good job.
We'll be able to provide this info. The Pink Angels Foundation, when I finally got into them, they are wonderful. And they're the only organization in the entire area that can walk through all your paperwork.
They're about to get overwhelmed.
They kind of already are. They're taking appointments. Mondays is walk-in only.
Do they need any support? Like, how are they funded? Or
They didn't mention that. Don't know. I don't know how they are. I wasn't familiar with them actually before the Coldwater Creek Moms.
Yeah.
Which is their own organization. They're the ones who helped fight for this from the ground up. Wonderful. They did so much and provide so much information. And, they're the ones who really fought for us to get us what we desire, or what we earned. Not desire, but what we earned.
Yeah.
Over this. And
So the Pink Angels Foundation are dedicated to making a positive impact on the community. Our mission is to provide support and resources to those in need, ensuring that everyone has access to essential services. This looks like mainly a breast cancer organization.
Yep.
But God bless them for helping out with this, man. This is pretty wild. So I'm going to look through and see if there's any way to... It's just about.
Yeah, most of the links on the website are dead.
They're not asking for money or anything. No. And it's just a bunch of awesome women doing awesome things.
So I'll add information on our Facebook page for anybody to reach out, because you know what? It's there. And you need help. I mean, when my initial cancer fight took place, I spent out of pocket. My bills were almost $143,000.
Oh, dude.
Out of pocket, even with insurance.
Wow.
And I'm about to get compensated for $50.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that lessens the sting a little bit.
Yeah.
But because that money's already gone.
Right.
And hopefully you get to do something really cool, like retire early, maybe.
Yeah. Who knows? I got some work to do even with that.
So here, if you go onto the Pink Ladies Foundation, Pink Angels Foundation, there's a contact us page, and if you're interested in volunteering, you can give them your name and email and volunteer. Or probably the best way is to show up there at, is this the 2100 North Highway 67? Is that where you went?
It's 620 North Lafayette.
North Lafayette. Okay, so this is like an old website, obviously.
Yeah, 620 North Lafayette in Florissant.
If you have time to give, go volunteer. That'd be great.
Anyway, I'll put some information out there. I think it's very important. This is my PSA. If certain cancers, breast cancer, I know is one of them. Unfortunately, my mom was recently diagnosed with that, so now she can file as well.
Good. Hopefully that helps her out with some of the expenses,
Right.
Oh, boy. This is all part of the human experience, man.
Sure is.
Life, death, cancer, retirement, laughing, crying, all that, man. I'm happy to be here for it. I'm happy to be going through this in the greatest country in the history of the world, too. I don't ever forget that. You know, like when I'm talking about the honor guard for my dad, like that flag, the American, much disagreements I have with our government is not our country. We are our country. It's us, the individual citizens. We make up our country. And that flag represents all of us, the 50 states, the 13, original colonies, all that. It's just incredible. I'm watching the Ken Burns documentary about the Revolution, how the hand of God and all of that, even though it was ugly, Civil War, there's slavery involved, all that sort of stuff. But it's led us to where we are here today. And there's so much hope I have. I used to be really pessimistic about where we're going as a country. Now I'm optimistic. And it doesn't have anything to do with Donald Trump or who the president is or who the politicians are. I just feel like, honestly, I have a lot of hope in the younger generation. These Gen Zs, or what do they call them what's after Gen Z? The Zoomers? What are those guys?
Gen Alpha?
Alpha?
I think so.
Gen Alpha?
Yeah, Gen Alpha.
Yeah, we just read that story about, we were talking about how this year like broke the record on Bible sales, I think, in America.
There's a lot happening.
And it's like something wild is going on. God is definitely working here in America. And, in the Bible it says to whom much is given, much is expected. Is that right? Is that Bible? Or am I thinking about Spider-Man?
I don't know.
Look, the more you know about God, the more responsibility you have to share God. I know that. And I think that's happening here in America. People are going back to God, to more traditional values, and I'm happy for that. There's some disturbing trends about the Russian Orthodox Church that we looked at last week. That was like, ooh, I don't know about this. But anyway, they're going to God. So they're searching for God, is what I should say. And they'll find him if they keep looking. You got anything else to add, Kevin? How about the bourbon? You want to give your final rating?
So it tastes just as good after it had some air in it throughout the show.
It loses the sting a little bit. The burn kind of fades, but
yeah, it does. But it still has its great, powerful flavors.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's certainly a drinker.
Very good. Yeah.
It would be a great gentleman's bourbon if you're going to have a couple friends over, maybe playing cards together, whatever. Right. Good poker night. I'm going to give it 4 stars.
Same. I give it 4 stars, man. You and I have been really aligned in our ratings lately.
Yeah, it's been pretty scary.
It's a little weird. If I flip back in our book,
I think you're copying from me.
No, I'm just some of my earlier ratings were very generous, I would say.
I think what it was is you were immature and juvenile in your rating, and I helped mentor you towards maturity in your bourbon ratings.
Tell yourself whatever you need to hear, Kevin. But
made me happy.
I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed every sip, and I like the direction our show is going. This is fulfilling and fun still. And the moment it becomes not fun, we're going to quit because nobody's paying us to do this.
Yeah, we got to fix my mic. My mic don't sound right.
Yeah, we'll see.
Other than that, you know what? You can reach us on Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify.
Yep.
Which is the Headspace and Tasting Podcast.
We gave up on X, a bunch of weirdos over there.
Yeah. And you can comment on Spotify or our Facebook page or YouTube. And you can also email us at showmemk@gmail.com. Love to hear from you. And, we'll always post something on our Facebook page, the Headspace and Tasting Podcast.
Yeah. I want to apologize to our number one listener for the abbreviated show last time. It was a little rushed on my part because my dad was dying, so forgive me.
Well, we can't hear her anyway.
Yeah, really?
Oh, her voice, it's like she's talking from through behind the door.
Work on your projection of your voice, Rachel.
I don't know what happened there because she sounded fine in the mic when we were in the headset.
It did. That was probably me. Sorry again. But we'll have her back on for sure, and we'll do a more in-depth show into the interdimensional Bigfoot.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Is it big feet? Is it plural Bigfoot, big feet?
Don't know.
Think about that, folks. We'll see you next time. Thank you for listening.
Peace out.